What's up, everybody? Welcome to my show. I'm going to be going through how I'm catching these crappie here in the fall using a drop shot rig. So I use one of those little drop shot weights. I use an 1/8 ounce, then roughly about 16 to 20 inches up, I have a Mosquito hook size 6. And I've been using tubes, and I've been using crappie magnets to catch these fish. So as you can see here, I just toss it out, let it sink to the bottom. Just once it hits the bottom, the plastic is going to sink super slow. Super slow. And it keeps it down, in the fall, those crappie, if they're not super active. I've had some really cold nights. The day isn't getting too warm either. I think it's like 51 degrees here. If they're not chasing bait, they're just sitting above brush on deep in the deep water. They're hugged tight to cover. So you want to find, how deep they are. And usually, depending on the water temperature, they're towards the deepest part of the body of water you're at. So I just kept it floating across the bottom, dragging it back in, and I got bit. See, I got this bad boy on here. See, I got that crappie magnet sticking out of his mouth. I just had it, I had it put on the end of the hook so it just hangs like that, and it comes out great. This is just a little guy, but now I know they're down there, and they're biting. So man, these fall time crappie, you really can't beat. This guy probably was born in the spring, but he was filled out, man. He was pumped. He was pumping some iron down there. I don't know what he was doing. He was doing some sort of workout, doing some push-ups with his fins, something like that. I don't know, but yeah, you see, I just kind of toss it out and just bring it back real slow, trying to keep it in that strike zone, and it's gonna flutter down real slow. You don't want it to be high in the water. They're not gonna be towards the surface. Um, unless you get a little bit of a warmer day during, a stretch of cold days, then they start chasing the bait around. But that your water temperature is gonna decide that. You can go out and, throw around a jig a little bit, see if they are a little bit shallow, see if they are a little more active, and if you're not getting bit, I always recommend go to this drop shot because that's how you're gonna get bites in these situations. So, um, as you can see here, I must have been on a pack of little guys, because they were biting it, they just weren't getting hooked. But I'm just kind of dragging it across the bottom. I'm getting beat up there, but it very well could have been bluegills. You just don't know, uh, especially if you don't hook them. But I like to, depending on how thick the cover is, if I get hung or something, I like these light wire hooks because they'll bend out. You can get your hook back, just bend it back into place. But yeah, look at that. Just hardly got this guy right in the top of the mouth. Just another little tiny guy. Yeah, on that Mosquito hook. Yeah, he was even smaller. See, I'm like, okay, I found all the little guys hanging out together. But if you get it hung, you can, bend that hook out, pulling it back in. It shouldn't break your line. It's super light. The way it's designed, they don't. You'd have to really get it snug. But yeah, here I picked up some on my fish finder, towards the bottom, and I just dropped down. And yeah, look at that. I had a guy just choke it. He's on there good. I got him. Yeah, there was a big log down there. I think they were just all huddled up on, but yeah, as you can see here, I got him in the top of the mouth. He got in there pretty deep, and with these Mosquito hooks, there's no jig head, so it can be kind of difficult to take them off at times. I always recommend having some pliers handy. I don't think I had any on me at this time, unfortunately, so but I was able to get it off there. But yeah, he's not bad. Nice and thick guy. I was like, okay, see how many I can get. Maybe I'll make a dinner's worth here. Who knows? Um, but yeah, I came out, got these drop shot hooks, drop shot weights, and I'll almost like kind of Texas rig the bait on the hook, um, because that makes it weedless, and it'll pinch down, depending on how hard you definitely want a soft plastic when you do this, but it will actually, it will pinch down when they bite it. You will get a hook in them. It's just the way the hook does point up, but as long as you can keep a small gap, not a big gap from the hook point to the bait, you're gonna want a gap to get that hook set. But if you keep a gap, you're fine. A small gap, you're fine. They'll get hooked. That bait will you push down that hook. It's a really light hook, so any sort of tension, it should give you that leverage to get that hook into the top of that fish's mouth. Um, but yeah, see, I just dropped it down again. Got the weight hanging below. This is a very effective style to fish. If you're out there like in the summer, it's super hot. In the middle of the day, they're deep in the middle of the day in the summer. They're not out actively looking. Not like in the morning and not like at night. They're on those deep brush piles. You can use this just to drop it right in their face and go to town. It's a pretty fun thing to do. But yeah, I was having some luck here, just dropping it down and I was getting hooked up. It was fun. But yeah, the hardest part is managing the wind. I'm in a kayak that's pretty lightweight, so it doesn't take much wind to kind of blow me around. That's the frustrating part. I do have an anchor with the anchor trolley, so that does help when it gets really windy. I can post up behind where the fish are at. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just dropping this straight down on them. I'm in about, I think the deepest part of this lake is 22 feet. I'm at 18 foot. I'm at 18 foot, guys. Yeah, and it branches. It's really shallow up to maybe 10, 15 feet out, maybe just like a couple feet. Then it drops down to 8 to 12 feet. And then now it drops down, to this 18 foot after that 12 feet. It's just layered. So now I'm at the third layer, almost at the very deepest point,
Tiny crappie, baby.
finding
Little
fish.
baby crappie.
And that's where they're gonna be this time of year. You're gonna find them in the deep water. Preferably, uh, you want to look for a channel. And I would say one of the easiest ways to find where the channel is you're just gonna look. You can just watch the water. I mean, usually the way the water moves, the channel is where the water's constantly moving. If you see a dead part or a part that, the water just runs into and it kind of spirals and slows down, that that's probably the end of a channel. But you want the channel to get that goes through, a huge long channel that goes the extent of the lake or body of water, depending on how big it is. That's where you're gonna find a lot of these fish during this time of year. They're gonna be active and towards that channel because that channel pushes around fish, pushes around bait, pushes around bugs. Like everything that these fish eat, they're getting pushed by that channel. They can't just sit and hide. Eventually, they're gonna get moved around, and it pushes around the stuff that the bait eat. All the microorganisms, all those bug, like all the bait fish eat that channel pushes them around too. So it draws them in, which draws in the bigger fish, and that the probability of catching fish in those spots much higher. So highly recommend doing that, finding that channel. with some access to deep water. But yeah, you can see here, I throw it out and I'm just dragging it back, and you could actually see my line jump on this one. So this one just swam up, grabbed it, and took off the other way, or or back down, So it gave me a nice little thump. But that's the see. Now I got a black and pink tube on. I have pretty stained water, so that's what I'm going with here. But yeah, look at that guy. No, that's not a bad guy. He had been fighting a little bit. His top fin was a little beat up, but he's gonna go in the bag. He's a good size eater, so he's gonna come with me. But um yeah, I throw it out and I just kind of drag it back. Now, when you hear drop shot, like I think a lot of people think when they use a drop shot, they should just pop it back, like pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it. Well, you can. I'm not saying you can't. You can. That will get you fish. I feel like when I drag it, like it underwater. You gotta imagine what it looks like, and when you drag it, the fish is actually just kind of swimming back, dashing back. So that just picture a bait fish that all the other fish eats, and it's just going swim, dart up, dart up. You don't want it to pop because then it looks like it's got too much going on. That looks weird. It looks unnatural. They might see it and go, "What the heck?" Like they're not gonna. They have an instinct. They have an instinct to eat stuff that looks natural, stuff they've ate their entire life. So when you throw around this fake, intimidation bait, trying to get them to bite it, you want to imitate the bait that they've been eating. That's definitely ideal, in these scenarios of trying to catch these fish. But yeah, as you can see here, all I'm doing, I throw it out. Look at that slack line. So it's sinking down, and then when it hits the bottom, it's just falling down all natural. It looks like a fish that, is alive still, but struggling to stay alive. It's fighting. It's trying to, revive itself. And it's a great opportunity for these fish to eat. They see it and they can't resist it. So look at that. See just the slow drag. Slow drag. That's what I got going on. Slow dragging it. See, letting it fall again. Letting it fall right again. Slow drag. Just letting it fall again. Letting it fall again. You got to remember there's no weight on the actual bait, so it's going to fall really slow too. It's not like a jig head. Some really small jig heads, they fall really slow, but this is going to be even slower. And it should naturally be buoyant because you don't have a weight where the weight's pulling the head down first. So it's going to really give you a great opportunity in that strike zone. Yeah, it's just imagine a fish darting real slow across the bottom, or maybe suspended a little bit off the bottom. But as soon as they see it and they're locked on, they're going for it. But as you can see, that one hit it while I was letting it fall. So it must have hovered right above its head. And yeah, look at that guy. That's not a bad guy either. Got him right in the top of the mouth. So this is definitely an effective way to catch these fish in the winter using that drop shot. I'm going to leave a link in the description of the stuff that I use. You can use your own baits. Whatever works where you're at. It's just this is an ideal way of getting you to that area where you can maximize the potential, to get a bite. And I feel like that is extremely important depending on the time of year, what kind of lake you're at, all these different factors. If you can kind of sharpen your skills, upgrade your arsenal, to have more tools to use and stuff like that, you're just gonna simply catch more fish, and that's ultimately the goal. That's what makes it fun. I mean, it's always a good time, going out and catching or not catching anything and not having to go to work, but if you can go out and catch some, why not? And frankly for me, I just like to learn new styles, learn new ways to catch fish. That is fun itself. That's the challenge, learning different things that, in order to catch fish. And I see that as a fun, very fun thing to do. I enjoy it. And then just when you study and you see all these ways to do it, um, and then you finally go out and you can use that and catch something, man, it is so rewarding. So I hope if you watch this that maybe you've learned something, you can take something away. I hope that it helps you when you get out there. You maybe just catch one more fish, if not a bunch, and really enjoy yourself. I'm on this journey learning all these different styles, all this stuff. I love to fish. So if you would like to join me on this journey, I try to post as much as I can. I usually do once a week at least, if not more. I'm always trying to show you my styles, how I do it. Feel free to give me a like, comment what you would like to see in the future, and then if you want to join me on this journey, go ahead and subscribe. We're gonna go through all these different adventures. I live in the great state of Michigan. We have all these different types of seasons where different types of fish come out. It really is a lot of fun. So I really do appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. Wouldn't be doing this without you. It's been so much fun so far. Um, I just hang out and have some fun with me. All right, take care. Peace.